So I'm 26 years old, and most of my friends are married. When I say most of them, I mean all of them. And they always ask me, how's the dating life? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, you're on Bumble, maybe Tinder. Match if you're really serious. You find a decent guy. He's tall. Enough. You talk for a couple days, see where it goes. Get a little flirty, it's fun and stuff. And then he asks you for drinks. Guys, drinks are not a date. But you go out anyways. You have a good time. Or so you think. And then the next day comes, and you don't hear from them. Yep, they ghost you. Why do they ghost you? Why do you guys ghost people? So that whole night, you thought everything was going great, everything was going fine, and you thought you were bonding, and then boom, the next day hits, and you never hear from them again. And that, my friend, is dating in a waste of 5 days.
Man, this stuff is so funny to me. I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching this video just smiling to yourself. These girls, they're approaching the wall and they can't, how come they can't find a man to marry? All of the good ones have been taken up. Yeah, you see, this is what happens when girls think that they can ride it out until they're 40, continue to date the chats, and then turn around and try and secure someone to marry later on. This girl won't even lower her standards to a guy who's shorter. Because she just believes she's entitled to a taller guy. I'd be curious, what does she bring to the table? But guys, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description. If you're looking to become a supporter of the channel, that's a great way to do it, and the link is somewhere below the video. But guys, on today's show, we're going to be breaking down this particular TikTok, as well as jumping into a few dating stories, and we're going to have a bit of a laugh together and break them down. So as we go through, feel free to share your opinions, guys. Leave a comment now. What are your thoughts on what she said? And we're going to jump into this TikTok one more time and get into some stories.
So I'm 26 years old, and most of my friends are married. When I say most of them, I mean all of them.
Again, leaving marriage till you're 26. 26 is just a stone's throw away from 30. Right? These girls think that they can leave marriage until later on in life, think that they can continue to see the chads, and then and then just like ride out the rest of their life on a beta. And what they try and do, guys, is they try and secure the chads that they think that they can secure for marriage. But these guys just aren't interested, man. No, these girls think that they bring something to the table. They really don't.
And they always ask me, how's the dating life? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, you're on Bumble, maybe Tinder. Match if you're really serious.
Guys, we've talked about this on the channel before, but a lot of girls who have options, like, and I'm talking, if they're a girl who can attract these high quality guys, let me just put it this way. Quality girls are not on Tinder. Okay, now you can find a girlfriend on there, sure. You can find a fun relationship for a bit, or some bedroom fun on there for sure. Okay, but people who are on Tinder and Bumble and stuff like that, what you have to realize is a lot of it's just bedroom fun and goodbye. Okay, so a lot of these girls, like, they're setting themselves up for failure using dating apps. Like, hell, it's even rough for me to recommend that guys. A lot of the time, I don't even recommend that guys use dating apps because it can be incredibly shattering to self-esteem. Right? These girls will go on these dating apps at a non-prime age and will still get far more matches than you as a man will. So if you're going to use dating apps as a guy, first of all, it's difficult for me to recommend that to you. Second of all, prepare to have your self-esteem shattered a bit, because while this girl's complaining about getting ghosted the day after, I mean, if you're a dude, good luck even setting up a date on those apps if you don't know what you're doing and you don't look really good. All right?
You find a decent guy. He's tall. Enough. You talk for a couple days, see where it goes. Get a little flirty, it's fun and stuff. And then he asks you for drinks.
Yeah, okay, so notice the tallness is what gets brought up. We're not talking about our notice how personality wasn't the first thing, right? It's the height. When we look at interviews on this channel, or we look at girls describing what they want in a relationship, it's funny because what guys don't understand. See, guys are lied about this, right? Guys are told, hey, it doesn't matter what you look like, just work hard and you'll find your soulmate in the end. No, no, no. See, girls care a lot about looks. They like a guy who's tall. They like a guy who's jacked. And to pretend otherwise is kind of foolishness, right? See, men are sold the idea that your appearance doesn't matter. Gentlemen, it absolutely does, all right?
Guys, drinks are not a date. But you go out anyways. You have a good time. Or so you think.
Yeah, gentlemen, drinks are not a date, okay? Are we supposed to reserve chivalry for 26-year-olds who have gone from Chad to Chad? Like, it bothers me, man, that these people think that chivalry is just given out for free. I'm so sick of men giving out their attention for free. Guys, your attention is valuable. Okay, you can't just be giving it to girls. And hey, you can go and give your attention to these girls if you want. You can go and give away your chivalry, take them out on $100 dates. But what I'm telling you is, a lot of these girls have gone on dates for nothing, have ended up with the guy for a few nights, shall we say, and then want to turn around and expect you to date them. No, guys. And the reason why I say that is because one, it's ineffective, and two, it shows lack of self-respect. Like man, men are literally trained at the moment to not have self-respect. You ever notice that? Like, we're supposed to do all of these things just because. We're shamed into dating girls just because. No, no, no. See, girls have to be worthy of courtship. So these girls complaining about, oh, guys just ghost me. Yeah, no kidding, they ghost you.
And then the next day comes, and you don't hear from them. Yep, they ghost you. Why do they ghost you? Why do you guys ghost people? So that whole night, you thought everything was going great, everything was going fine, and you thought you were bonding, and then boom, the next day hits, and you never hear from them again. And that, my friend, is dating in a waste of 5 days.
5 days. Well, don't worry, madam. You can have another one going up the next week and have a shot the next week, I suppose. You see, these girls, when they complain about, oh, I haven't been married, or oh, guys aren't taking me on dates, I just do not care, man. I get that. You guys remember the Simpsons movie, like the Simpsons movie where the dome comes over Springfield, right? And there's like a scene where Marge is talking to Homer, and Homer just has this monkey in his head clapping cymbals because he's not listening. That's me when I watch these. When girls complain about their dating problems, guys, there's like a little monkey in my head just clapping cymbals together because, man, am I not caring, right? But anyway, guys, we're going to jump into some of today's stories. So I'm just going to switch the screen quickly in the background, and we're going to pull up an interesting story. Maybe we'll start with this particular article. The title's a bit cut off, but I'll read it to you guys as we go. So it is titled, Breaking Down Doesn't Mean You're Weak. You've just been strong for too long. You see, what girls will try and do is they'll try and spin off the, oh yeah, I've been alone, I've been strong for too long. And what that really is code for is she hasn't been able to lock down a relationship. All right. So let's just crack straight into the article and I'll give it a bit of a read. All right. And with tears in my eyes, I looked at him, and he could see pain behind the smile I was forcing. He could hear the undertone in my voice as it shook when I said I was okay. He could feel me shaking as he brought me in and held me close. But there was something about 2 a.m. that brought about raw honesty. He looked at me and said, "You don't have to be so strong right now." I hated being perceived as weak. I hated seeing someone seeing me vulnerable. I hated someone seeing me vulnerable, excuse me. I hated that I had cried. But then I realized being vulnerable made me human. Crying was natural, and weak was the last word anyone would ever use to describe me. So to you, I say, to the same person who feels guilty or bad for maybe a breakdown or two, that you aren't weak. Right? Girls will go through these things, and what they'll do is they'll say, oh, man, like, was it me? I just didn't try hard enough. Because what you have to understand, guys, is these chads who are out here breaking these girls' hearts and they get around to 26 and they're not married, still chasing them. What these girls think to themselves is they think, well, I'm not enough. Or, oh, how come I wasn't enough for this man? Guys, I really tried my heart out. And blah blah blah, and you'll get the beta come along and he'll be like, oh yeah, you're a strong girl, you don't need to be strong right now though, you can, yeah. And he'll just talk to her and try and make her feel better. Guys, we're not out here trying to make girls feel better about their crappy relationship decisions. They feel entitled to these people. I mean, you see, the thing is, it doesn't matter what these girls do, they can't please the Chad because Chad simply has better options. All right. Anyway, do you ever just get that feeling like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and you honestly think like one more thing happens, you're gonna crack. Then all of a sudden you do. Like me, you might be perfectionists. You care a lot about what people think of you and you try so hard to hold it together. Sometimes you just can't. Something happens and that's it. Girls have this, I was did a video for Patreon before this one that I'll be uploading at some point today. But I was doing a video of a girl who was explaining. She was trying to uncover whether girls like nice guys or whatever the case may be, or do they like a-holes, all right? And what she was talking about is girls actually are inherently anxious. All right, so we all know the rates for leaving the planet, shall we say, gentlemen, or going somewhere else among young men in particular, and older men. Hell, among men is really high. We got a lot of guys over here who are saying, you know what, it's just not worth it. And I'm not going to go too in depth on that, but obviously it's incredibly sad. Okay, you got a lot of these guys doing that, right? But you have to understand as well, girls actually feel more neuroticism than men on average. We as men, we're kind of more lethal in our approach, okay? If you understand what I'm saying here. So what happens is these girls, right? They're anxious, they're out here, they need what they're looking for, guys, is they're looking for some sort of protection. They want some sort of buffer between themselves and the world. They want a guy who can lead, they want a guy who can take care of them, they want a guy who's confident, who has good genes. They want all of these things. Okay? And the problem is typically they can't find it all in one guy, particularly if they're masculine. All right. I don't know how many times I've had to say on this show, but men are not interested in masculine women. We're not interested in going to a 9 to 5 job, coming back and then having 50 more chores thrown in our face, disrespectfully, mind you. All right. So these girls, like, if they want someone who can take the world off their shoulders and want someone who can remove that anxiety, they're going to have to start treating men a little bit better. All right. That girl on the first TikTok, make no mistake, she had her chance. Okay. Anyway, let's keep reading with this, and then we'll see if we can jump into a relationship story over on Reddit, guys. But anyway, if it hits you like a wave that knocks you off of your feet, and the next thing you know, you're drowning in your tears, reaching for anything to keep you afloat. Every once in a while, someone does save you, but you've never been the one who needs saving. You've been someone who had to rely on others, so you feel a sense of guilt for not being able to handle this alone. Don't feel guilty for needing someone sometimes, we all do. Breakdowns remind us of who we are at our worst, but they also give us a chance to see who accepts us at the points when we aren't ourselves. It gives us a chance to have someone tell us, this doesn't even compare to who you are at your best. Yeah, some people will look the other way, but every once in a while, someone will rise to the occasion and be the rock you need in your life. Gentlemen, do not be the rock that these girls need in their life. If they're out here, they're a single mother, they're looking for a rock in their life. What they're really looking for is some security. Okay, don't be walking out here thinking that your security, your leadership, your confidence, what you bring to the table, don't go undervaluing that. Hell, even if you're a guy, you're not where you want to be in life yet, maybe you haven't got your money sorted or your body, your health, that kind of thing, please understand that your attention at the very least is worth something. You can't just be giving it out to these people who will drain it from you. All right? And today, guys, we're going to jump into, we'll see what kind of story we got going on here as far as relationships goes, because they're really interesting, usually. So I'm just flicking through, finding what we got here. Girlfriend of 3 years, la la la. Where can we? I'm looking for one that's a wife. All right. La 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 la. Okay, yeah, this is a fantastic one right here, gentlemen. All right. So let me just adjust the screen so we can all kind of see. And now what you'll notice, guys, is it sucks to say, but marriage is not its best right now. It really isn't. In fact, a lot of the times on this channel, I will talk about how marriage is a terrible idea. I got a lot of guys over here in the comments who will tell you that marriage is a terrible idea. They've been through divorce, they've lost their kids, they've lost a lot of money or resources, assets, that kind of thing. There really isn't an incentive for men to get married at the moment. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into this story here. I'm down really, really bad right now. Need some help, please. For starters, I'm 23 and my wife is 21. I have pretty much ruined my marriage. What's killing me is I don't know how. Man, I'm sick of men blaming stuff on themselves when it's their when their partner goes and does something terrible. And guys, stop blaming yourselves for the terrible things that people do. Okay? Like, it's just men will take on responsibility for no reason at all when we have no business doing it. You know what I mean? It's like these guys out here causing themselves so much pain and they have no need to be doing it. All right? We're both in the army. She went home for a medical emergency 2 weeks ago for 10 days. All she did was drink and party. Barely talked to him at all. Told me to leave her alone. She comes back, acts super shady. changed her password, and sleeps with her phone under her pillow. When I ask who she's talking to, she says don't worry about it or nobody. She wears glasses so I can clearly see her switching from Snapchat to another app. Got on her MacBook to talk to my mum on Skype and her text pops up. Her friends were encouraging her to go hook up with an ex. She hung out with this dude several times when she was there. I am 90% sure she cheated on me. Yeah, you should be closer to 99, my man. Probably, like, people will tell you just round it up to 100 at that point. This weekend is our anniversary, and she's doing a girls' weekend. Wow, on the anniversary, gentlemen. You see, what's really bad about this particular situation is, okay, it's great. This girl did some terrible things. All right, just absolutely terrible things, clearly. But the really bothering part is the way that he opens this up. He has pretty much ruined the marriage, and he doesn't know how. Can you guys see how disgusting that is? Right? When I tell you guys start respecting your time, your resources, that also just extends to some general common sense, guys. Like accepting responsibility for the crap you. I'm not one who will advocate for. Oh yeah, well I was supposed to do something different. Hey guys, if you're in a relationship like this, you should have done something different. No, 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 no. You had no business being there at all. We're not playing Mr. Fixer. We're not coming here fixing girls' problems, fixing their taps, their freaking whatever the hell they need. We had a girl on the channel a while ago who wanted her like propane tank replaced, and she didn't want to drive to go get it. Like a lot of these girls, man, they just want repairmen or guys to do these things, or trophy husbands, right? No respect at all. I'm not advocating for you guys to sit in here, be a beta chump, buy her crap, and try and solve her problems until she emotionally comes around to you. We're not doing this negotiating crap. We're not joining therapy. We're not joining couples therapy. We're not trying to, guys. We ain't out here trying to solve problems. The problems shouldn't even be there. Like I hope that that's really clear, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but it's just that guys get themselves in a lot of situations caring about things and thinking it's their fault when it wasn't. All right. Anyway, so the weekend is their anniversary, and she's doing a girls' weekend. We all know what that means, right? I have no idea what to do. I tried talking to her, and she says that she wants space and a break. I'm super sad about it. As I'm writing this, I am on my 30th hour without sleep. I can't get out of my own head. I'm so sad about this, and I feel so alone. I'm so tired. Any advice is welcome. Not sure if this is the right place to post this. Gentlemen, marriage is a very difficult thing. Like, I haven't been married, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. But I can tell you that, like, for those of you who want to get into long-term relationships, marriages, and stuff like that, let's not sit around here pretending like it's easy, okay? So, when you've got someone who will clearly go this far out of their way to just throw disrespect at you, hell, it isn't even worth getting past the 2-second mark in a relationship. You see, and a lot of these girls will come with a bunch of red flags and all that kind of thing. So, really, it's kind of our responsibility, guys, to not give girls like this commitment. There are a lot of girls out here like this. Like, they may seem sweet enough, that their words might be sweet enough, but gentlemen, a lot of them are bad news. Like, I'm talking really bad news. And now, am I saying all girls? No. Before I get the all police over here. But guys, it's just really important to vet people that you allow into your life, because they can mess things up. They can mess you up, right? You invest a lot of time and energy into a girl like this, and she turns around and pulls crap like this. I mean, it'll screw anyone up, really. Okay. Now let's have a look at some of the comments. I'm assuming they'll be pretty helpful, because in situations like this, they usually are. But this guy here says, "I've been exactly where you are. Time to pop smoke." I have no idea what that what that means. I imagine that just means like dip out. Go to a medical, get a certain kind of test, set aside enough dollars in a separate account to retain a lawyer, document everything, all conversations with her, when she leaves the house and comes home, when you leave the house and go home, and what you're doing while you're out. If you decide to divorce, once you retain a lawyer, all communication with her should go through the lawyer unless it's work-related. If it is work-related, make sure that you have a superior in your room for all your interactions. Otherwise, do not engage. For whatever reason, if she wants to do counseling, have your lawyer agree, and she should schedule counseling and tell you what the schedule is. Arrive early to counseling and do not speak directly to her unless the counselor tells you to. Wow, I mean, a big headache, right? For just wanting to have a good relationship. Right, you know, we're on this channel, guys, and we talk about relationships kind of sucking at the moment. We talk about the dating scene kind of sucking. And it's difficult not to walk away with a sense of cynicism when you look at these, right? When we as gentlemen, we look at these relationships, we might think to ourselves, oh yeah, well, no thank you. And it's and it's hard to disagree. Okay, it's really gotten to the point where it's hard to disagree. But we're going to see if there's any other useful comments before we wrap up today's video. So people agreeing with what he said. I don't know what, I am not an avid Reddit user, so I don't know what this red line means. I imagine it's just a very good one that lots of people like or have upvoted or whatever. Anyway, let's see what other people have got there. Good point, blah, blah, blah. What can a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old with no kids have to go for when they're splitting up? What exactly would he do here versus ghost on communication, file, and divorce her? When you're that young, you barely earned anything. From an older person point of view, that means easier to replace. From a younger person of view, that feels like everything you own that you work hard to get and earn. We don't know what type of debt these kids are in, what transportation and or housing arrangements that they have. Yeah, see, crap like this becomes significantly more dangerous as you're older as well, gentlemen. As you accrue your assets, maybe you've got a couple of kids together, situations like this aren't as easily solvable. Like maybe this guy could fire for a divorce and just get it over and out with. But if you're an older gentleman, you have to consider, have you got things to protect? And, you know, in the eyes of the law, is she entitled to them? Isn't that interesting? But guys, we're going to leave today's video there. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below, what you thought. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so in the comments. That's what they're there for. As always, subscribe if you're new or if you enjoyed the video. And if you'd like to support the channel, guys, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description for some exclusive videos and stuff like that. If you're interested in becoming a supporter for the channel, that's a fantastic way to do it. And like I said at the start, guys, the link for that is somewhere below the video. But gentlemen, we're going to call it there. As always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.